Hi everyone, I hope you're all really well and have had a good week. I can't believe it's July already. I've got no idea where the past 3 months have been, but you're with me this morning, so that's all good. Okay, so today we're going to be doing some really lovely exercises for our shoulders. It's going to be quite a stretchy class, so we're going to open out our bodies, our waists, our hips, our shoulders, and hopefully you'll leave feeling really energized and relaxed. Okay, so equipment-wise, we're going to need our mats, our little cushion, and if you have even a pair of hand weights, try and have those to hand because we're going to need those to add a little bit more of a challenge to some of the exercises that we're doing today. We're going to start off in our standing correctly position. So let's find that place where we've got our feet flat on the floor, hip distance apart, and we're going to find our correct alignment. So take a couple of seconds to make sure that the weight is going down evenly through both of your feet. And then start to draw your core muscles in and check that when you bend your knees, they're going forward directly over your toes. Checking in with your hips now, pushing one hip forward then the other, and find that space where they're nice and even. Letting your shoulders sink down the back of your spine and imagining that your rib cage is balanced right on top of your hips and your head is nicely poised on top. I'm going to start with a few little shoulder rolls to get rid of any tension that you're holding through there. So nice and smoothly rolling your shoulders all the way down. So we're just taking them forward, up, back and down. And I can feel a few little cricks and cracks going on already for me here. Nice. Okay, two more like this. Good. And then let's go the other way. So circling around the other way, really smoothly. Maybe feeling a little bit more loose every single time that you make this circle. Good. And bring your arms nice and long down by your side. We'll go straight into a couple of floating arms. So we're going to breathe in, and then as we breathe out, let's start reaching our hands to the sides, all the way up to the top, reaching all the way up, and then inhaling and smoothly bring your arms back down. So we're starting with one of our basic exercises today, just to get some really lovely movement through our shoulders. So you should be able to see your hands out of the peripheral vision and try to bring them up nice and smoothly as far as you can. Now, if you have any shoulder issues, don't try and push through any pain. Just do whatever movement suits you best. Breathing in to bring them down. Lovely. Let's go 3 more times. Breathing out. And in. And out again. Lovely. So hopefully feeling a little bit smoother already. And again, breathing out. And in. Super. Okay, so now we're going to add in those hand weights already. So we're going to get our shoulders working much more, as well as our core muscles. So picking up your hand weights, your water bottles, or whatever you're using. Holding nice and long in your hands, relaxed grip, finding that lovely aligned position once again. Perfect base for us to work from. We're going to breathe in and then breathing out, reaching your hands all the way up to the top. And inhale to sink down. Now, these are really light hand weights. They're only 1.5 kilograms, but I can already feel how much of a difference they make. I'm having to use my core a lot more. So as I reach my hands all the way out and up, core muscles are coming in and reaching out to the sides. Now keep your shoulders melting down the back of your spine. Good. I'm going to go a few more times like this. Breathing out and in to come down. And 2 more. So making sure you're not losing that lovely alignment. Keep your chin up. It's very tempting to start looking down. But think about that piece of thread coming up through the crown of your head, keeping you nice and tall. And one last one like this. Breathing out and in. Great. Popping those down on the floor. And we're going to move into an arm rotation, which is a really great exercise for really opening up the front of your chest here, releasing any tightness around your shoulders, and that's going to feed down into the rib cage as well. So if you find that you have trouble with our rotation, it feels quite tight. Sometimes if you have a tight shoulder, that can impede the movement that we're trying to get. So by easing our shoulders up, we're going to hopefully get our spines working even more efficiently and smoothly. So this time we're going to float our arms up so that our elbows are level with our shoulders. Our hands are facing forwards. And once again, you're not jamming your hands back. You can see your hands in your peripheral vision. So trying to keep our elbows nice and high. Breathing in here, as we breathe out, we're just going to turn our palms down. So we're rotating that upper arm in your shoulder. I don't know if you can see that, but my right shoulder is kind of hinging up. So I'm going to try and keep my right shoulder melting down. You might feel a little bit of tightness specifically around here, but we're just going to try and work through that. So breathing out, once again, keeping your core muscles engaged and using them responsively. So if you find that it's tempting to sway forwards and back, use your core muscles a little bit more to ensure that doesn't happen. Taking your hands down, bringing them back up. Lovely. 3 more to go here. Squeezing down and back. And 2. So doing your best to keep your elbows raised. You might already be feeling that your arms are doing some work. And then we're going to bring our arms down, give them a little bit of a shake and a rest, and we're going to go the other way. So once again, floating your hands up. Your hands should be level with your elbows, level with your shoulders. And this time I'm going to try and rotate down. But this is a lot more tricky movement-wise. So we're going to go really slowly. So you can see it's really tempting to bring your elbows down. Try and keep them up. So I can't get us back as far. But looking at the side here, when I turn my hands up, I can get them up so that they are parallel with my body. When I hinge down, only to about 45 degrees, because if I go any further, I'm starting to lean forward and lose that really nice alignment. So let's try again. I'm going to start with our palms facing down. Feet and knees hip distance apart. Let's go down. Try not to let that shoulder rise up. It's a lot more tricky than it might first seem. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Really feeling this around my shoulders now. And 6 and floating our arms down again. Wonderful. Giving them a little bit of a rest. I can feel it around here. Hopefully you can do too. So as well as getting that lovely relaxation and release, you're working the shoulders and your arms. Okay, so let's move into something a little bit more familiar now with our dumbwaiter. We're going to practice the dumbwaiter first of all, and then we're going to add on those hand weights again. So double check your position in neutral. This mat always gets ruffled up. I don't know why. And we're going to fold our arms up now. So our elbows are directly below our shoulders. Palms up towards the ceiling. And this time, as you breathe out, you're going to open your hands out to the side and bring them back to the front. So you're keeping on the same plane. You're just, again, rotating this upper arm in the shoulder, but it's a different movement this time. So opening them out, try to keep your elbows from flaring out away from your body. So breathing out, almost feel your shoulder blades slide together and pinch behind your spine and come back. Breathing out, starting small, and as this movement gets warmer, as your muscles get warmer even, it should become a little bit smoother. Lovely. Good. 2 more to go. And 1 more. Bring your hands back to the front, bring them down and pick up your weights or whatever you're using. We're going to go into that dumbwaiter with the weight. So again, adding more resistance on means that our muscles have got to work harder. And once again, keep an eye on what your body's doing, because as you take your hands back, it's quite tempting to let your hips rock forward. We're going to keep our hips balanced directly over our heels. So we'll bring your hands up again, lightly gripping the weights, breathing in. And as you breathe out, let's open to the side, feeling this through your biceps and your triceps, feeling that openness through the front of your chest and your shoulders working behind you. You might find that one hand on side even is easier than the other. And most people have a dominant side For me, it's my right hand side, so I tend to find things a lot easier on my right side than my left. Even just holding a light weight like this, I can feel the difference between the two. Breathing out and in. We're trying to keep our shoulders from rolling forwards and up. So keep them melting down. Feel your shoulder blades almost pinch behind your spine. Opening up and coming through. Good. Lovely. And we'll do 2 more like this. Keeping your chin up, trying not to lose that lovely alignment that we found. And let's give our arms a little bit of a rest down here, because we're then going to go into an open and extension. So you might want to lose the weights, just depends on how strong you are through your upper body. So see how you get on with the weights, give it a go, and you can always pop them down to the side if it's too much. So we're going to start in this nice standing position once again, hands up. We're going to breathe out to open up, and then float your arms up. So you're lifting those weights high in the air, almost on like an angle in front of you, not really in front, but to the sides of your body. Gently drawing your elbows back in and close. Good. Breathing out and out. Really feeling this through my forearms now. And coming back. Check what's going on with your toes and ask yourself if you are clutching at the mat or not. Lovely. Let's go again. Opening out. Back in. And again. Two more to go. Maybe feeling that you can raise your hands a little bit higher now. All the way up. And bring your elbows back in. Take them down and pop your weights down by your side. Great. So today we're doing a little bit more standing, because for the last few sessions we've done quite a lot of lying down, but we are going to come down onto the mat. We're just going to get some movement through our legs now. So just doing a really nice like pony prance. So just walking through your feet. Do whatever movement suits you, especially if you've had work done on your feet and your ankles. Good. And let's bring our heels back down. Okay, so moving into some Pilates squats, we're going to get some really nice movement through our ankles, our knees, and our hips. So standing to the side now, taking your feet slightly closer together, arms hanging nice and long. So remember that Pilates squat, we're going to zigzag down, sending our bottom back as our knees go forward. Try to keep that really lovely length through your spine. It's tempting to either drop your chin down or jam your head back. And we're going to try and keep our spine and pelvis in neutral. So double check your alignment. This time we're going to move on the breath in. So as you breathe in, we sink our hips back, knees go forward, arms hang long and heavy, core muscles come in to support you, and press through your heels to come all the way back up. Let's go down again. Inhale to sink down. Keep that nice long back of neck. Press through to come up. Super. Okay, so questioning what's going on through your knees now. Make sure they don't fall in or flare out. So we're going to keep them hip distance apart. Let's go again. Smoothly gliding down. Tummy muscles coming in. Pressing through your feet to come up to standing. Nice and smoothly, we're getting these legs working. This is fantastic for circulation as well, because it's stimulating the muscles that surround that big vein that goes all the way down to your feet. And when you stimulate that vein, it really helps your circulation. So that's why when you're on an airplane and you're meant to be doing your exercises, they say things like circle your feet around or do points and flicks, because that is the same movement as that we're doing now. So let's go again. Taking your heels back, tummy muscles coming in to support your spine. Pressing back through. Super. 3 more. Hinging back. Keep your toes long. Piece of thread coming through the crown of your head as you stand up. And 2 more. Lovely. And our final one. Sinking down. And coming back up. Wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to add in our arm raise. To make this a little bit more challenging, once again, pick up your weights. Remember, you can put them down if you need to. This time, we're going to add in a front arm raise. So rather than taking them out to the side, we're going to bring our arms up as we go into this squat. So as you inhale, send your hips back. Arms go forward. I can really feel this through my shoulders and my arms, and come up. So this is great for your heart as well, because by raising your hands in the air, your heart's going to work a little bit harder to pump the blood around your body. So really good for strengthening. Coming back up. Lovely. Let's see if we can do 4 more like this. So inhale. Remember, you don't need to bring your arms all the way up. You can take them all the way up if you can. If just bring them up to 90 degrees suits you better, that's fine. Sending your hips back. And coming up. Lovely. 2 more. Sinking down. You might feel here even, I'm a little bit out of breath already. Lost count. Let's do 1 more after this. And 1 more. Sinking back. Arms going forward. And coming up. Walk through your feet. You might already be feeling that your thighs are working now. And we're going to add on a tennis ball rising. So we're going to add on a balance to this movement. So we'll practice that balance first. We have our feet slightly closer than hip distance apart. And this time you're going to raise into your tiptoes as you breathe out and take your arms back before sinking back down. So you might like to try that without the weights first, or without the arm movement. You're just going to rise up onto your tiptoes as far as you can. Remember, if you've had work on your feet, you might not be able to get there, but just do whatever you can. Raising up, keeping your balance, trying to prevent your heels from flopping out to the sides. And coming down. Good. We're going to do 2 more like this. And we can add in those arms now. So as you raise up, you're going to take your arms back and through. 1 more time. So we're getting different movement at our shoulders now, and come back. So let's put that all together with a Pilates squat and those arms going back. So let's breathe in to sink down. Arms floating in front of you. As you breathe out, press through your feet, raise up onto your tiptoes, and take your hands behind you before going again. So we're taking our arms up, keeping them shoulder width apart. Coming all the way up, arms going backwards. Super. And do 4 more like this. Do your best to make them as smooth as you can. So working in great alignment is really important, because it's going to help strengthen your joints in the way that they were intended to be. So if you strengthen your joints out of alignment, you can imagine it's like a car bearing. It's kind of running wrong. It's not going to go smooth and strong. So we're doing the same with our joints. We're trying to keep it nice and strong. I think this is the last one. Inhale. Tummy muscles coming in to support your spine, and exhale all the way up and sink back down. Wonderful. Giving your feet a little bit of a kick to get rid of any tension there. And we're going to come back to stand in our neutral position with our feet hip distance apart once again. Good. Taking a few breaths to get your breath back. So let yourself sink down into the floor. Feet just spreading and supporting you, and just feel that you're really strong up through your core muscles, shoulders melting down. So we're going to go into a lovely side reach standing with our hands on our head. So I'd like you to float your arms up and then fold your hands behind your head. Maybe press your head back into your hands. So don't let your hands just pull your head forward, kind of pressing back. So it's like your breastbone is now being lifted towards the ceiling. So you can imagine that you've got a massive big beach ball like this one to your side here, and you're going to lift up and over, up and over. So rather than it being a collapse into the side of your waist, you're lifting up and out of your hips to come over. So you're getting loads of space between the vertebrae in your spine and really strengthening those muscles. So we're going to start with our hands behind our head like this. Breathing in here. And as we breathe out, let's start lifting up and out, but keeping your hips completely still. And inhale to restep back to the top. So let's go again. So we're just rocking to the side. Try not to move your lower body. And coming back. Now, Just like we do another exercise, you can imagine that you're moving between two panes of glass. So you can't rotate, lean forward or lean backwards. You're just going purely in lateral flexion, which means side to side. Let's go again, breathing in and out. And over to the other side. Good. Going again, trying not to move your hips, so they might begin to banana to one side, but we're going to keep them directly over our heels. So the strength is really coming from the upper body. Might feel really lengthened through both sides of your waist here. So it's a really gorgeous stretch. So if you suffer from scoliosis, this is going to feel really nice around your rib cage. Let's do one more to each side. Breathing out and in. Lovely. And out and in. Super. So now we're going to add in a rotation. So we're combining the lateral flexion with a rotation. Therefore, we're moving our spine in a completely different plane of movement. So again, essential for keeping it healthy. Really nice to keep it moving and fluid like this. So it's going to prevent injuries, decrease any pain that you might be feeling, and just feel really nice in terms of a stretch down your side as well. So let's take our hands behind our head once again. Breathing in, breathing out, reach over to the side, and then I'd like you to bring that top shoulder down towards the floor. And I can really feel a long stretch all the way from this hip right up to the back of my neck. Then twist back up and restack. Up and over, rotate, feel that gorgeous stretch down the back, all the way up and through. Lovely. All the way up and through, up and over, reaching forward. Again, it's super tempting to let your legs and your hips banana to each side. And try and keep them stacked. Good. And over again. Hair's getting in the way. Definitely need a haircut. Gone like a crazy lion's mane. Super. And our last one, up and over, reaching forward that top shoulder, back through, and floating your arms down. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. So it's our favourite bit. We're going to go into that balance now, but remember, you can always use a wall or a chair to hold on to if you need a little bit of help with that balance. So we're going to do our one-legged balance. So find that alignment once again. Toe muscles engaged. So we're trying not to let our bottom tuck under or really sticking your bottom out and increasing that curve of the lumbar spine. Keeping ourselves nice and tall through our spine, as tall as you can, so that piece of thread is coming up through the crown of your head. So as you breathe out, we're going to transfer the weight onto one foot. And then if you can, bring that knee off the floor and float it up until your knee is at hip height. Now, if you can't find that, that's fine. Just lift that leg up as far as possible. So let's go again. Breathing out, raising that knee up, lower down with control. Now I'm trying to keep myself from wobbling around. So I'm really spreading that supporting foot on the floor. If you crunch at the mat with your toes, you'll be holding unnecessary tension there. That's not going to do you any favors in terms of your balance. Let's go again. Nice and slow. So let's show you from the side now. So you can see as I bring my knee up, I'm not letting my bottom tuck under like that or push back. Going nice and slowly. Lovely. Let's go again. Breathing out and in. Super. 2 more on each side. Remember, it doesn't matter if you can't bring that knee all the way up. We're going to keep that toe just an inch or so off the floor if you can do that. If you can bring it up, that's brilliant. You can work up to it up by a bit. Last one on each side. Breathing out. Tummy muscles coming in. And down And our last one. Good. Okay, so if you're a beginner or if you're not sure about your balance, you can stick with that exercise, or we can try and add in an arm movement. So this time we're going to do our floating arms. So standing nice and tall again, breathing in and breathing out. Let's see if we can float our arms up as we bring that knee up. Inhale, reach out to the sides and down. So if you're going on the other side, breathing out, reaching up. Inhale and come down. Maybe feeling a little bit smoother through your arms now after we've done all of those other exercises we've done. And come down. Good. And again, lovely. One more to each side, breathing out. Keeping your core muscles coming in to support your spine. And bringing your legs down. Well done. Okay, so now combining this with a bit of rotation. We'll get our rotation in first so that our spine gets used to that movement. Then we're going to see if we can add in that leg balance. So it's really good for your proprioception. That's your awareness of where you are in space. You're going to be helping with your balance and your coordination because you're strengthening those connections between your mind and your body as well. So let's start with that rotation. So find your neutral spine and pelvis and stand nice and tall. Float your arms up. So your elbows are level with your shoulders, piece of thread coming through the crown of your head, keeping your hips pointing forward. Let's breathe in and breathe out to start rotating to the side. Imagine that your legs are encased in concrete. Back through to center. Good. Going to the other side now. You might find that one side is a lot easier than the other side. Good. And going again. Nice and slowly. Good, let's swap our hands over so the other arm is on top now. Now you might unconsciously always put the same hand on top. So by swapping it over, we're just keeping our bodies guessing, making a familiar movement unfamiliar, which means that we have to think about it more and it stops us from getting into incorrect habits. Super good. And two more. Lovely. Last one on each side. Back through to center and bring your arms down. And now let's add in that single leg balance. So floating one leg up, crossing your hands over and seeing if you can still rotate to the side. So core muscles working, you might feel that supporting leg working super hard. Working hard not to fall over all the time. About to go. Bring that side down. So we're going to do 2 rotations to each side on one leg and then go with the other leg. So bring the opposite leg up. Remember, you can have your toe on the floor if you need to. And we're going to go again. Good. Bring that leg down. Let's do 2 more times on the other side. Oh, this requires a lot of concentration. I can feel those muscles in my legs working. I've got my core muscles switched on all the time. So my tummy button is coming in towards my spine rather than pushing out. I know that's going to help with my balance. And again, rotating to the side, back to the front. One last time on the other side. So let's bring that knee up. Again, just ask yourself what's going on with your jaw and your toes, and are you gripping through there? Super. Keeping your shoulders down as well. I just realized that my right shoulder was coming up, come back down. Give your arms a little bit of a rest, and we're going to come down onto our knees. So let's go into that transition again. I don't know if you do try and do this at home, but let me know how you get on. We're standing nice and tall. Hands out in front of us. Cross one leg over in front of the other. And then see if you can sit down really smoothly. And then we're going to roll onto all fours and push yourself up so that you're in high kneeling. Okay, so we're about halfway through the class, so if you want to have a break now or do the rest of it later, this is your chance to have a rest before we go into the second section. Super. Okay, so if you're starting for the second section now, do a few cats, a few floating arms, a few rotations to warm yourself up, and then come into our high kneeling position. So we have our knees now directly beneath our hips. So your weight is going down. Now, some of you might need to have a little bit of extra support with some cushions beneath your knees. And that's fine, whatever you need to do to make it a little bit more comfortable for you. So we're going to go into a side reach first of all. So try and find that position where you're not pushing your bottom back. It's really easy to kind of be slumping forward here, and you're not leaning back through your spine, pushing your hips forward. You just want that lovely balanced position so you can feel that your weight is going down from your head all the way down through your knees. Okay, let's breathe in and breathe out, reaching one arm all the way up and over to the side, that lovely side reach, just like we practiced before with our hands on our head. And inhale to restack and float that arm down. Let's go on the other side, breathing out, all the way up and over. Remember, we're not collapsing to the side of our waist, we're lifting up and out of our hips. Good. So it's really lovely to do this in this position because it's harder to banana your hips. You have a little bit more awareness of where you are in space as well. Reaching up and over. Good. One more to each side. And bring that arm down. Wonderful. Okay, so now you can either stick with that or we're going to try and add in a side leg. So with the weight on your right leg, reach your left leg out to the side so that your arch of your foot is level with your knee. So you've got a really good angle between your leg and your supporting leg, and that can be easy to slump over and not have this leg 90 degrees to the floor. But we're going to try and keep that balance. So your hips are slightly on a different level from each other. Okay, so now we're going to do exactly the same. So we're going to move this hand that is by that short leg to start with. So breathing in, breathing out, lift up and over. Have your hand on your leg if you want to. And then you're going to come up and over the other side. So your fingers are traveling down towards the floor. Inhale to restack. Exhale. Maybe feeling an inner thigh and groin stretch here. Maybe feeling a really deep side waist stretch too. Good. And again. And one last like this. Last time like this even. I can't speak anymore. Yeah, I've been saying that since the first week of lockdown. And all the way up. Good. Let's slide that knee back under and do exactly the same on the other leg. So taking that leg out to the side, checking that the arch of your foot is in line with your knee, and double checking as well that this leg is nicely at 90 degrees to the floor. You're not kind of leaning over to the side. So we're going to move this hand that is by the short leg first, breathing in, breathing out, float the arm all the way up and over. Really lovely side stretch. Try to remember those two panes of glass, one behind you and one in front of you. And because we're off center as well, all these muscles around your core and your spine are having to work a lot harder to keep you stable. So we're off balance. So if somebody came to push you over, you might find it really easy to fall over. So doing exercises like this is really great to work those super deep stabilizing muscles and strengthen through your core. Up and over here. All the way back up. One last time to each side. And our final one. Bring that leg back in and find that nice kneeling position once again. Okay, so we're going to go into another rotation here. So this time we are going to cross our hands over our bodies, so we don't have to worry about what our elbows are doing. Make sure your hips aren't pointing forward or falling back. Hands over your waist, piece of thread through the crown of your head, shoulders melting down, breathing in here. And as you breathe out, keep your hips facing forward as you rotate to the side and come back. Super. Going to the other side nice and slowly. Come back. Good, and going again, nice and smoothly. One last time to each side like this before we change the position of our arms. Coming back through to center. Okay, let's go the other way. So putting the other arm on top, I really had to think then what I was doing. Let's go again, rotating around, back to center. Keeping your hips still. Using your glutes and your legs to maintain this lovely position that we have. Good. Wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to change the position of our legs. So we're going to get a little bit deeper through our hips. So this is a really nice kind of hip stretch. So I'd like you to keep one knee on the floor and put the other leg out in front of you at 90 degrees. And then we're going to do the same thing. So we're crossing our hands over. Your weight is going down through your foot and your knee. Try to make sure that this foot is in line with your hip, not too far out, and not crossing over the center line of your body. Otherwise, you'll find it really hard to balance. And let's bring our hands back up. Shoulders melting down, breathing in, breathing out to rotate to the side, back through to center. You might find that you can go even further than before. But try and keep your spine really balanced and aligned. It's really good to work your legs like this. You're getting your pelvic floor working as well. And again, we're off balance. So you're having to work hard through those deep stabilizing muscles. Good. Last one to each side. And again, back through to center. Swap your legs over. Whoa, try not to fall over. Double check the alignment of your legs so that leg is in line with your hip. And going again, breathing out, really trying to keep your balance. And it'll be interesting to know what's going on with that knee as you twist towards it. I feel that my knee really wants to start falling in. So you've got to use that thigh to make sure that doesn't happen. Going to the side again, keep your hips facing forward, making it as smooth as possible. And our last one, back through to center. And then if you can, just sit back over your heels to give your knees a little bit of a rest, or if this is uncomfortable, you can come over onto your sides and give yourself a rest here. We've got one more in 4-point kneeling. Remember, if you need to, you can have those cushions underneath there. So we're going to come into a kneeling side leg reach thing. So just like before, we're in high kneeling. We take that leg out to the side, but this time We reach down with that hand and place our hand on the floor in line with our knee. Open that top shoulder up. So you've got the weight going down through that hand, that knee. You've got a nice open body, not rolling forward, just nice and open. Place that hand on your hip. I'm going to try and lift this leg up and down, okay? So try not to look forward. I'm saying a lot of try nots to today, so I'm going to try and be more positive. This time I'm going to breathe in. And as we breathe out, let's float that leg up to hip height if you can. And lower down. If it isn't possible, you can just float a few inches and gradually we can build the strength more and more. Okay, so we're going to try and keep that leg, we're going to keep that leg nice and parallel to the floor. Breathing out and in. Feeling those muscles around your waist working. You're getting your pelvic floor working, your hips and your glutes. This is super for strengthening the medial glutes, which doesn't like to work. It tends to rely on the hip flexor instead. So single leg raises like this are excellent for getting that glute muscle working. 2 more. Breathing out and in. Out and in. Float that knee back. Push yourself back up. We're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So taking that leg out. Checking that the arch of your foot is in line with that knee. Reaching down with that hand and placing your top hand on top. Okay, so let's go into that lift and lower again. You might find different sides are easier than the other. So breathing in, out and in. Keep your chest nice and open, top shoulder going up towards the ceiling. Breathing out and in. Lovely. Good. And 2 more. And our final one. Bring that knee back in, sit back and come into your child's pose, rest position. So bottom back over your heels, arms reaching forward, head coming down towards the floor. Breathing in and out here. So you're trying to fill this lumbar spine full of air, get your rib cage really full as well. Good. Okay, so we're going to push ourselves back into 4-point kneeling. This time you can place your cushions beneath your hands if you need a bit of extra support, or create fists with your hands, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're comfortable through your wrists. Make sure that the centers of your elbows are facing each other rather than the front. And we're going to go into a really nice cat. So lovely after all of that exercise that we've done around our hips. So breathing in, and let's breathe out. Tuck your tailbone underneath you, tucking your pelvis, rolling all the way up. Head comes up last of all, middle, spine, center of your spine going towards the ceiling. And inhaling to return through. So we're going to make this movement come from our pelvis. So no movement through the top of your spine until that ripple goes all the way up there. Inhale to reach back through. Going again, rolling all the way up. Inhaling to come back through. Lovely. We've got 3 more like this. Rolling. Really opening out through your lumbar spine, pressing the floor away. Inhaling to come back. And we've got one last one here, rolling all the way underneath you, up towards the ceiling, back through, and press back into your rest position. Once again, to give your wrists a rest. Going to move into our leg pull front prep. Now, I know some of you might have trouble with this because of taking the weight back onto your toes. So I'll give you an alternative before we move into the leg pull front prep. If you're not going to do that, I'd like you to do a long leg lift and lower. So this time we breathe and slide that leg back. Okay, so make sure that your hips and shoulders remain square to the floor. And then as you breathe out, you can float that top leg up. Inhale to come down. You're going to lift and lower 3 times. Imagine you've got a tray of drinks on the back of your spine that you do not want to lose. And we go on the other side. So we inhale to slide that leg back without kicking anything. Keep your hips square to the floor. As you reach that top leg up and down. Feeling the back of your leg and your glute muscles switch on. 3 times, lift and lower. And come back through. Okay, so that is our single leg lift and lowers from 4-point kneeling. Otherwise, we're going to try our leg pull front. So that's where we slide both legs back one at a time, taking the weight onto our toes, and then we rock forwards and backwards. So we start off in 4-point kneeling. Remember, you can have those fists. Our wrists are directly beneath our shoulders, knees directly beneath our hips. We're going to breathe in to slide and slide, keeping your body in a long plank. And then we're going to hinge back and forward. Feeling that stretch through your Achilles heel and your calf. I can really feel it in my left calf today. 3 times, and then inhale to slide one knee back under and then the other. Okay, so you should find that to keep your spine completely still, you really need to use your core support. So imagine that tummy button coming up towards your spine. You're using that internal core set that's going to stabilize you and keep that strength through your spine as well. So let's go back into that 4-point kneeling. We're going to slide leg 1, tuck your toes under. Slide leg 2, tuck your toes under on the inhale. Exhale, hinge back. 3 times. Inhale, slide leg back, 1 back, and leg 2. Okay, we're going to go 2 more times like this. So you can slide the other leg back first of all this time. Toe muscles come in, hinge, hinge, hinge. Feel that stretch at the back of your legs into your hamstrings. Slide back your legs one at a time. Well done. Last one here. Breathing in to step back and step back. Exhale. Exhale, exhale, back in, and sit back to give your wrists a really well-earned rest here. Well done. Okay, so we've got another one on all fours. We're going to go into our tabletop 2. So 4-point kneeling again. Wrists under your shoulders, knees beneath your hips. As we breathe in, we're going to slide opposite arm and leg away from us, directly in line with our shoulders and our hips, and then float them up on the exhale. So if you've been doing those single leg lift and lowers, you'll be well versed in this. So let's breathe in to slide. Keep your shoulders and your hips square to the floor. Exhale, try not to kick anything as you float your arm and leg up. Bring them back down and coming back in. Let's go on the other side. Sliding away on the inhale. Tummy muscles working hard as you float up. Really reaching through your toe and your fingers. Back of neck really long. Coming back down and return. Sliding again. Floating up. And through. Good. Twice more on each side. Remember, you can sit back and rest if you need to. Good. Really lovely for opening out your hips, working your shoulders and getting those core muscles working as well. Reaching through, whoop, nearly fell over. And sitting back over your heels here, giving your wrists a rest. Okay, so we're going to cross our ankles over behind us and then sit our bottoms back so that we're sitting nice and tall and come into a pelvic rock back. So we did a few of these on Monday if you were with me then. So we're going to practice them a little bit more now. So sitting, trying to get the weight going down through your left and your right sitting bones. And then placing your feet in front of you in line with your hips and your knees in line with your ankles and your hips as well. Now, if you find that your knees really easily fall in or out, you can get a little cushion or you can get a squeegee ball and place it between your knees to give you a bit more support. I'm going to start with our hands on our thighs. Nice and tall through your spine. So your shoulders are melting down the back of your spine. Piece the thread up towards the crown of your head, breathing in here, and as we breathe out, let's tuck our tailbone underneath us like we're doing a cat. And then lengthen our arms as we roll back. Tummy muscles coming in. Then as you inhale, piece of thread pulling you forward. all the way up to sitting. Good, let's go again. Breathing in and out to roll back. All the way back. You can keep your feet on the floor, or if you don't have the ankle mobility yet for that, you can let your toes rock up. And let's go again, rolling back nice and smoothly. And our last one, rolling all the way back. Pressing back through and sitting nice and tall. Good. Okay, so we're going to add in a single knee fold now. So beginners, you might want to just practice this pelvic rock back. Otherwise, we're going to go into that single knee fold. So we're going to sit nice and tall here, breathing in and breathing out. Roll back through your spine and then keeping your hands outstretched. See if you can float one leg in and down. Keep your gaze going forward, float the other leg in and down, piece of thread pulling through your breastbone to come up. So it requires quite a lot of coordination and balance. You're going to be using those core muscles as well as these muscles surrounding your hip and the back of your legs. So it's quite a strong exercise. Let's go again, breathing in and exhale to roll back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, float that knee in. Exhale. Push all the way back through and up. Great. Let's go again, breathing in and out. Keep your gaze going forward. Try not to let your head drop. And forward. Okay, so now you can try doing that again. Or you can try and see if you can bring both knees in one at a time. So sitting nice and tall once again, breathing in. Breathing out to rock back. Hands reaching forward. And let's see if we can float both legs up. Well done. You might find this is really hard around your core. And come up. So I can really feel that around my core muscles. Okay, let's go again. Breathing in and out. So you can choose the level that suits you. If you feel any pulling on your spine, don't do this exercise. Have a nice rest instead. Lovely. And one more. Rolling back. Leg one coming up. Leg two if possible. Facing down one at a time. All the way back up. Good. So we're going to scoot a little bit further forward and then nice and tall, holding on to your legs to give you a bit of support. We'll breathe in here and breathe out, rolling back so that you're lying down on the floor with a cushion underneath your head if you need that extra bit of support. So we're going to bring our knees and feet together, take our arms slightly wider and find our neutral spine and pelvis. So our palms are flat on the floor. You're just going to rock your pelvis back into the mat, imprinting your low spine and arching away. Arching away again, lovely. And then setting yourself somewhere halfway in between. Shoulders are relaxed, breathing in. And as we breathe out, let's take our legs over to one side, twisting through your spine, keeping the opposite shoulder down. And then engage those muscles to draw yourself back through to center. So you're getting a really gorgeous rotation in your spine. Let's go to the other side now. Rotating over. Coming back through. Good. And again. Last one to each side. Over to the side and back. Good. Okay, so now let's go into a little bit of dead bug. So we're going to find that neutral spine and pelvis once again. Center yourself so that your head, your breastbone, and your pubic bone are in one long line. Find that neutral spine and pelvis. Did I already say that? Probably. Breathing in and breathing out. Float one leg up into a single knee fold. Bring the other leg up to join it. We're going to float our arms up towards the ceiling, then turn our arms and our shoulders so that our palms are facing each other. We're going to breathe in. And as we breathe out, let's tap one leg down, keeping your core muscles working as you take that other arm up and back. So moving in direct line with your hips and shoulders. This is really strong for your core. So really engaging through those muscles. You're trying to keep those non-moving arms and legs completely still. Going again. Breathing out and in. Super. Good. So just do a couple more of those in your own time. So what we're doing, opposite arm, opposite leg. Make sure that your spine and pelvis aren't rocking forwards and back. It's super easy to lose that neutral spine and pelvis. So you're keeping your core strong, reaching through your fingers. And then hug your knees in towards you. Give yourself a rock from side to side. And then please place your feet back on the floor, hip distance apart. We can float our arms up in the air once again, palms facing. We'll go into our spine curl. So breathing in here, and as we breathe out, rock your pelvis back, imprinting your lumbar spine, engage your glutes. And one bone at a time, really slowly. We're just going to lift up. We're going to go halfway. Pausing here, and then as you inhale, roll all the way back down. So we're only going halfway so that we can try and avoid lifting up our spine in big blocks. So breathing in again and out, rock back. Keep your knees hip distance apart. Remember, you can place a cushion between them if you need to. Just halfway, lowering down with control. Going again, really engaging every single muscle. So by going halfway and keeping it controlled, you might find that you're feeling it a little bit more. One more here. And lowering down. Super. So for these next few, we're going to go all the way up in the air. So breathing in, breathing out, rock back, lifting up one bone at a time again. Hips nice and high in the air. Holding here. And then let's try and melt halfway down. So it's like mid-back area. And then we're going to lift all the way up. So listen to your bodies here. And if your spine starts to complain, just come down normally. Because it's actually quite hard. You might be feeling it through your legs as well. Good. Coming all the way back up. Oh, we've got one last one to go. We're going to continue going all the way down, back through. Super. So now we're going to do 3 normal spine curls going up all the time and then down. Okay, so breathing in and out to rock all the way back, rolling up one bone at a time. Keep your hands balanced over your shoulders. Feel that strength through the back of your body and lengthen back down again. Super. And again, breathing out, rolling all the way up. Lengthening back down. Keep your gaze going up in the air rather than rocking back. All the way up. And lengthening down, and float your arms down by your sides. Awesome. So now we're going to see if we can add it in a single knee fold. Now beginners, just stick with this normal spine curl. Otherwise, we're going to try and add in that single knee fold. So we have the same position to start with. Hands on the floor this time though, and that's going to help give you that support. So breathing in and out to rock back one bone at a time, lifting all the way up. So your hips are as high as they were before. Then keeping your hips level, floating leg 1 up and down. Leg 2 comes up, keep your hips nice and high still. Comes back down and lengthen down with control. Good. Let's try again. Breathing in and out to roll all the way back. Nice and tall. Coming up and down. Up once again, keep those hips nice and high. Float that leg down and lengthen back down. We've got one more like this. Breathing in and out to rock all the way back. Nice and high. Supporting yourself through that leg. Hips remain high. Back of your spine working hard. Back of your glutes working. And lengthen all the way down onto the floor. Hug your knees in one at a time. And rock from side to side. Good. Okay, so you can either roll onto your side now and bring yourself up to sitting, or if your spine allows, so if you know that you haven't got any spinal issues, tuck your chin in, rock forward and back, and gradually increase that rock until you come all the way up to sitting nice and tall. Then we're going to bring ourselves round and sit in a long frog position. So your legs are out in front of you, hands down by your side, and we're going to do a final side reach sitting. So let's breathe in here and breathe out. Bring one hand all the way up, reaching up and over to the side. Inhaling to come back down. Let's go to the other side. Breathing out to raise up, reaching up and over. Lovely. Last one on each side. Keeping your spine as tall as you possibly can. And again, all the way up and over. And then let's go both arms together. Breathing in, breathing out, reaching all the way up. Pressing the air away. And our final one. All the way up, reaching through your fingers, pressing the air away. And giving yourself a nice clap. Well done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you've really enjoyed the class and you found it both challenging and refreshing and strengthening as well. Let me know how you got on, and I really hope to see you again on Monday. Take care and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.